Guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another episode of the Power Play Pod. I'm your host, SNIPERSKY, and my co-host, TRUPA, cannot be here today, unfortunately, because he is traveling. And funny story, we're trying to get this episode out yesterday to you guys, but while we were recording, we had some technical difficulties, and that's just how it goes sometimes when you're online and you're in separate states. So he couldn't make it today, guys, but I am going to fill you guys in on picks and predictions and things that we're doing for college football playoff and NFL weekend this weekend. And so I will let you guys know exactly what Trupa's thinking and his predictions, so you guys have a great idea. And this is a combined effort, so it's going to be exciting for you guys. This is not an ad, but I got an Alani drink right here with me, ready to go, ready to rock, give you guys some plays, give you guys my thoughts and Trupa's thoughts as well. This probably won't be the longest episode today. Normally we talk for 30 to 45 minutes, if not a little bit longer. Today might be a little bit shorter since we're just getting back and I'm by myself. So I want to make this episode as informational as possible for you guys, especially leading up into close to game time tonight for college football playoff. All right, so first things first, guys, if you're brand new, welcome. Go ahead and like and comment on this video if you guys love sports, if you guys are excited for the football playoffs. And also don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because we are going to be posting every week as best we can for you guys. And we deeply apologize for having very minimal time working with each other during the wintertime / late fall for football season. A lot of things have been going on with holidays, and so that's on us, guys. But more episodes to come. We have a lot to go over for you guys. And when it's the end of football season, things get juicy. So we got to talk about it. Okay. First and foremost, though, let's talk NFL. So we have the 5 seeds for the NFC and the 5 seeds for AFC all ready to go. And it's going to be crazy. The wild card's crazy. The divisional playoffs are crazy. We had a recent NFC matchup between the Vikings and the Lions. Lions won that game handily. Vikings looked terrible. Vikings worry me on the road, I realized. They look really, really good at home at US Bank Stadium, but they worry me when they're on the road, which also made me feel the same way about Detroit. But then they went to San Francisco. They were down for a little bit. They got slaughtered right in the first quarter. Then they went out and they won the game in San Francisco. Then they come back, host the Vikings. The winner takes the NFC first seed, and they won. So Lions look really good right now. AFC matchups. You have the Chiefs, number 1 overall seed. They took a loss badly their last game of the season against the Broncos because they just rested every starter. And as much as I don't agree with that fully, they did it because they want to make sure everyone's ready to go and healthy for the playoffs. We have the second seed is the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills look really good. Josh Allen for MVP. A lot of you guys think Lamar's MVP. Comment below in this video if you guys think Lamar is MVP this year, if it's Josh Allen. I'd love to hear it. 2 AFC quarterbacks are really, really good. And shoot, man, in the NFC, I don't know who really could have been the possible runner-up or in the 3-way tie of the MVP role. So I don't really know. Honestly, I just think Josh Allen and Lamar have just played fantastic seasons this year, and I think really it should just be decided between them two. I don't really think anybody else is close. But that's just me, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Is it somebody else that I'm missing or can't think of, or is it Lamar and Josh Allen? Between those two guys, who do you got? Love to hear it. But I want to get right to it, guys. We're going to make it nice and brief for you today. Tyson, TRUPA, my boy, he wanted to tell you guys his predictions are NFC champs, Detroit Lions, and AFC champs, Buffalo Bills. As we were talking yesterday that we couldn't get the recording out, when we were talking, he really thinks this is Josh Allen's year. Josh Allen has proven himself year after year, and this is his year to finally take home the crown for MVP, as well as getting past the Super Bowl champs in Patrick Mahomes and those Chiefs. So even though they got to go on the road to do it, if they end up facing the Chiefs in the AFC Championship, they got to go on the road. They got to go to Arrowhead, and they got to play them. Another thing he mentioned that was actually worth thinking about in terms of who's going to be the AFC champs is Buffalo beat Detroit this year at Detroit. Buffalo also beat Kansas City this year. And so they've proven that they can beat these really, really good teams who are probably Super Bowl winning teams. So the question is, does that make Buffalo possibly Super Bowl champs this year? We'll see. And so those are his two picks. I have to agree with him. I got Detroit as NFC champs this year, but I am going to go with the three-peat potential Super Bowl champs in Patrick Mahomes and those Kansas City Chiefs. Now, I know it seems like I'm taking both one seeds, but hear me out. Detroit has proven both on the road and at home they are dominant, especially offensively. That offensive squad is unreal. They worried me the most on defense for sure, but then when they played Minnesota, they absolutely stopped the pass. They stopped Jefferson. It was unbelievable. I know Detroit is one of the worst pass defenses in the league, and when I watched them play and perform the way they did, it was a completely different team and atmosphere. And I'm not sure if it's because like they have so much home crowd rally behind them, or if it's because it was like, hey, we really understand the stakes here, and this is what we want, and and they performed. So Detroit makes me feel comfortable that they'll for sure get past the NFC. They'll go right into the Super Bowl. AFC, I got Buffalo and Kansas City playing each other, but I find it so hard to believe that Buffalo during the playoff time and at Arrowhead is going to beat Patrick Mahomes and those Kansas City Chiefs. It's just so hard for me to believe. The freaking league wants the Super Bowl champs to win again and make it a three-peat. And they're playing at home and against a team that they have experience beating in the playoffs and at Arrowhead. I got to go with Patrick Mahomes on this one. He's so determined. And not to mention, Patrick Mahomes rolled his ankle not too long ago. And so for him, we already know what happens when Patrick Mahomes gets hurt with an ankle injury. He comes out and becomes a whole different person. So literally, guys, it's no question for me that we have a Buffalo versus Kansas City matchup, but it is for sure certain to me that Kansas City is going to rock with this one. They're going to go to the Super Bowl again and go for the three-peat. Okay? Now, I don't want to give you guys my full-on prediction on that game just yet, and Tyson and I will come together. We will talk about that. We will talk about that when we next get together in about a week. So, both of us, we have an AFC matchup and NFC matchup between Buffalo and Kansas City. Tyson's got Buffalo winning, going to the Super Bowl, and Lions to the Super Bowl. I have Lions and Chiefs. We're going to dive into more that nitty-gritty NFL playoff prediction when the time comes. Let's transition right now into college football. So we have Penn State, Notre Dame tonight. TRUPA believes that it is Penn State's football game. I also agree with him that this is Penn State's football game. And we were both able to come to an agreement that Notre Dame is going to be probably out with one of their best defensive players. I forgot his name, but I remember seeing news about that. So Notre Dame might be short a guy, and a really important guy. Notre Dame also struggles passing the football. Riley Leonard does not want to pass. And if he thinks he wants to pass, he's going to run. Jeremiah Love, I think he's a decent running back, but he's not really dependable compared to Singleton. Fraser, I believe his last name is, for Notre Dame. He's okay. Like, they don't really have, in my opinion, depending players to really carry the load of the team. What I do believe Notre Dame has is they have an overall team. They're really good on defense. They're so well coached in Marcus Freeman. And that, in my opinion, makes them dangerous, which makes me feel like if I were to take a really important spread for you guys, I'm going to take Notre Dame plus 9.5. I really feel like Penn State's going to win, but just in case Notre Dame somehow shocks the world, which they're kind of playing in that type of mindset and mode right now, is they're shocking the world. They beat Georgia recently. They just outcoached Kirby Smart, outplayed, outdefended Georgia. And, with that type of magic in a team, it happens in basketball too, and I know it happens in football. That type of magic, when you're on a roll, there is a different type of football game being played and a different team. So, I'm very curious to see what Notre Dame will do tonight. Penn State, in my opinion, the better team. Drew Allard throws the football better. Tyler Warren's one of the best, if not the best, tight end in college football right now. I would argue that between him and Gunnar Helm from Texas, probably. But Tyler Warren, he's a monster. I watched this guy play live at the Fiesta Bowl this last week against Boise State, and he is a monster. Somehow, Drew Aller, Penn State, they love to pound the rock, and then they'll play action. It's kind of boring football, but man, they're good at it. Somehow, one receiver like Tyler Warren or Harrison Wallace will just make a quick little move, and they're gone. So I think overall, offensively, that is a better football team. And rush defense-wise, trying to defend Riley Leonard, trying to defend Jeremiah Love, that's a number 3 overall team defensively in the nation. So those are my predictions for tonight, guys. Penn State over Notre Dame money line, but just in case, I like Notre Dame plus 10.5. Tyson's got Penn State on money line. No ifs, ands, or buts. He's confident in that. I love it. So we'll give you guys some options. Take what you guys want. Penn State money line's money if you guys are looking for a nice payout. Otherwise, we love a Notre Dame plus 10.5. Let me give you guys the Texas versus Ohio State matchup. Both Tyson and I love Ohio State money line. And I personally think Texas, this is the game where we start to see them getting exposed even more. They almost lost Arizona State. They had a nice lead, but they almost lost. I think Texas has really good defense, but I question how clutch Texas is. I think now, after that loss to Michigan that Ohio State had, they're just a completely new team now. Offensively, they're throwing the rock a lot more. So if Ryan Day is continuing to say, hey, Will Howard, you're the guy, go let it rip, we're going to see a different Ohio State team like they played against Oregon. And that means they're going to be throwing the rock. Jeremiah Smith is going to be wide receiver 1, going for every ball. Ibuka is going to make some great catches. Cartel, G. Scott, these guys this is a good squad. This is not a squad we overlook. And I feel like kind of the whole year they were obviously a really good football team, but they weren't talked about enough. They're really starting to make a name for themselves right now after that statement against Oregon. It just proves that Big Ten football this year is way better than SEC football. Changed my mind on this, but SEC football this year was absolutely garbage, which is why we have Ohio State on the money line versus Texas. And I bet you money Steve Sarkisian's not going to make the adjustments that he should, which is if Texas gets in the red zone, go back statistically, Texas is terrible in the red zone, and they have been in the last 2 or 3 games. They lost to Georgia in the SEC championship game. Why? Because when they got in the red zone, they didn't put in Arch Manning, the secret weapon. The secret weapons who literally helping this team score points. And they couldn't do that against Georgia. And practically all year long, they haven't figured it out that Arch is a valuable asset in that red zone. Quinn Ewers is a good quarterback. He can throw the football. He can lead a team. He's got experience. But, man, when it gets to the red zone, they have not been able to figure it out against these top teams, SEC, Big Ten, so forth. So, and Big 12, my bad. Arizona State, Big 12. So, Texas worries me. They're not clutch. Ohio State's different. They're gonna definitely run up the score. They're gonna go for a high offensive game on their end. They're gonna be gritty. It's gonna be a lot of fun for this football game. So here's our score predictions. Let me get my notes out here. So Tyson and I have a prediction for you guys. If you guys take Ohio State money line and you guys want a final score prediction, 34-24 Ohio State. And that's for Friday's game. Tonight's game for Penn State and Notre Dame, we got 27-21 Penn State. So, guys, thanks for being here on another episode of the Power Play Podcast. We are excited to do more of these. We apologize for the inconveniences of barely posting because of the travel times and weather and family time during the holidays and other important ventures that we've been doing. But we always love coming together and giving you guys our favorite picks and our knowledge and stats about current day of sports. So we'll see you guys in the next episode. If you guys haven't yet, like and comment on this video if you guys love sports and if you're tailing the plays. And also don't forget to subscribe to the channel and follow us on Instagram. I'm at SNIPERSKY Locks. TRUPA is at TRUPA Locks. I'll leave it in the description of this video for you guys. Give us a follow both on Instagram and our winnables. And don't miss out on any future free picks from what we post individually as well as a group here in this podcast. We'll see you guys in the next video, and especially with Tyson involved, he will be here next time. So we love you guys. Thanks for being here and supporting the channel. We'll see you next time. Peace.